Have you ever wondered why some men our age look like they stepped out of a magazine, while others, well, let's say they're still stuck in their 20s style? Look, over all these years, I've realized that the difference isn't in how much money you spend, but in making smart choices that experience teaches us. You know that moment when you look in the mirror and think, something's not right? Well, I've been there too. And today I'm going to share with you 7 fundamental elements that completely transformed my way of dressing. And the 5th item here is something that revolutionized not only my wardrobe, but how people see me at work and in my personal life. If you want to discover how to dress with the elegance a mature man deserves, based on years of trial and error, then stay with me until the end. Element 1. Wear quality cotton plain shirts, always well-ironed look. There came a time in my life when I got tired of looking sloppy because of a poorly maintained shirt. You've probably been through this, rushing out of the house, grabbing the first shirt you see in the closet, and only realizing it's wrinkled when you get to work. The problem is that a poorly maintained shirt not only visually ages you, but also conveys an image of carelessness that doesn't match someone who has achieved so much in life. It's like driving a dirty car. It works, but it doesn't make the impression you deserve. The solution is simpler than it seems. First, invest in good quality cotton shirts. They don't need to be extremely expensive, but they have to be real. Cotton. Second, always iron your shirts or take them to the dry cleaner if you don't have time. Third, have at least 5 white shirts and 5 light blue ones as a foundation. These are colors that work with everything and never go out of style. In practice, I usually set aside and iron my shirts for the week on Sunday. It saves time during the weekly rush, and you always leave the house looking impeccable. And look, if you're enjoying these practical tips from someone who has tested all this in real life, subscribe to the channel, because there's much more content coming about how a mature man can dress with elegance without complication. Element 2. Have a classic cut navy blue blazer. So, after 40, I realized I needed a piece that would give me instant credibility in any situation. You know when you need to go to an important meeting, a more formal dinner, or even a family event, and don't want to get the look wrong? The mistake I made for years was thinking blazers were only for pretentious executives. The result? I always felt out of place at more serious events, or I would err on the side of excess in casual situations. The classic cut navy blazer is literally the Swiss Army knife of the male wardrobe. With dark jeans, it becomes elegantly casual. With dress pants, it turns into executive attire. With a basic t-shirt underneath, it gives a relaxed but sophisticated air. My practical tip is to invest in a good quality wool or cotton blazer that fits your body well. It doesn't need to be tailored, but it has to fit right in the shoulders. That's fundamental. And always leave it unbuttoned when sitting down. It may seem trivial, but it makes a difference in how it hangs. If these tips are making sense to you, how about leaving a like on the video? It's a simple gesture that makes all the difference. Each interaction helps our content reach more people who deserve access to this information. Element 3. Wear discreet belts and always match them with your shoes. Look, this is one of those details that separate a man who gets dressed from one who truly dresses well. For a long time, I used any belt with any shoe thinking nobody would notice. Big mistake. The wrong belt can completely clash with your look, even if everything else is perfect. It's like wearing white socks with dress shoes. Technically it works, but it's not elegant. The rule is simple. Brown shoes match with brown belts, black shoes with black belts. Prefer smooth leather belts without flashy buckles. The ideal width is between 3 and 4 centimeters, neither too thin nor too wide. In my experience, having 2 basic belts, one brown and one black, already solves 90% of situations. And always choose the belt before choosing the shoe. It makes it easier when putting together the look. And you? Have you noticed how this type of detail makes a difference in everyday life? Tell us in the comments, what was the biggest change you noticed when you started paying attention to these details? Element 4. Adopt a more sophisticated color palette, navy, gray, burgundy, olive. There came a point in my life when I got tired of looking like a teenager trying to get attention with loud colors. Not that it's wrong, but after 40, elegance is in sophistication, not volume. The problem with very vibrant colors is that they can seem forced on a mature man. That bright red shirt, or that lime green pants that might have worked at 25 now, can give the image of someone who hasn't evolved their style. The colors I mentioned, navy, grey, burgundy, and olive, are naturally elegant and easily combine with each other. Navy blue is practically a neutral. Grey is versatile like no other color. Burgundy adds personality without exaggeration, and olive brings a modern military touch. My strategy was to gradually renew my wardrobe with these colors. Today, I can create dozens of different combinations using only these 4 colors as a base, adding white and black when necessary. If you're starting to understand how small changes make a big difference in mature men's style, don't forget to subscribe because there's still a lot of valuable content ahead. Element 5. Prefer sober and neutral tones with small touches of color. And here's the item I promised at the beginning. The one that completely changed how people perceive me professionally. Have you noticed how some men manage to have personality in their style without seeming like they're trying too hard? For years, I oscillated between 2 extremes. Either I dressed like a stiff executive, or I tried to look too young with exaggerated colors and prints. Result, I never felt comfortable and authentic. The insight is to use a neutral base. Imagine a gray suit or a combination of a white shirt with navy pants, and add personality through small colored details. It could be a tie with a stronger tone, a pocket square in your blazer, or even a different sock that only shows when you sit down. The effect is powerful. You convey an image of seriousness and maturity, but with your own personality. It's subtle, elegant, and shows that you have confidence without needing to shout to be noticed. Practical example: white shirt, dark gray pants, navy blazer, and a burgundy tie or a watch with a brown leather strap. Done. You're elegant but interesting. What has been your biggest difficulty when choosing colors for your style? Leave it in the comments and I'll personally respond. Element 6. Choose real leather footwear, well maintained. You know what I learned after years of wearing questionable quality shoes. That feet are the foundation of your entire look, literally. A poorly maintained shoe or one made of cheap material can completely destroy a look that took time and money to put together. I've been through the embarrassing experience of being well dressed from the waist up and having my old neglected shoes drawing attention for the wrong reasons. It's like building a house with a weak foundation. No matter how beautiful it is on top, something always seems out of place. Real leather not only lasts much longer, but also ages well when properly cared for. A quality leather shoe can last decades if you maintain it correctly, while synthetic shoes begin to peel and lose their shape in just a few months. My recommendation is to have at least 3 basic pairs. 1 black formal, 1 brown, and 1 casual leather shoe as well. Invest in matching shoe polish, an appropriate brush, and clean them regularly. It seems laborious, but it becomes routine in no time. And a valuable tip: alternate your shoes. Never wear the same pair 2 days in a row. Leather needs to breathe and recover its original shape. Element 7. Have a good watch. Classic, elegant, and masculine look. This one sealed my style transformation with a golden key. The watch is probably the only accessory a man can wear without sounding feminine or exaggerated, and it says a lot about who you are. For years, I made the mistake of wearing digital sports watches in formal situations, or very flashy watches trying to impress. The result was always the same. It seemed like I was trying to compensate for something, you know? A classic watch with a leather or metal strap, with a clean face and without many unnecessary functions, conveys maturity and good taste. It doesn't need to be extremely expensive. There are excellent options in various price ranges. The important thing is that it's proportional to your wrist and matches your lifestyle. In practice, I use a watch with a brown leather strap during the week and one with a metal strap on weekends or more casual occasions. It's an investment that's worth it because a good watch lasts decades and never goes out of style. So, recapping the 7 elements that can transform your look after 40. Quality shirts always well maintained, a versatile navy blazer, belts that match your shoes, a sophisticated color palette, neutral tones with subtle touches of personality, well-maintained real leather footwear, and a classic watch that reflects your maturity. These aren't just fashion tips. They're lessons I've learned by living, making mistakes, and getting it right over the years. Mature male elegance isn't about following passing trends, but in consistent choices that reflect who you've become. If this content made sense to you, subscribe to the channel because I have much more to share about how a man can dress with elegance and authenticity after 40. And don't forget to hit the bell to not miss the next videos. Tell me in the comments, which of these 7 items do you plan to implement first in your wardrobe? And what was the biggest discovery about dressing well that you had after 40? I love reading your stories and always respond when I can. If you've made it this far, it's because you're serious about improving your style. So I've prepared this next video for you to watch. It's the perfect next step for you to continue evolving. And take a look at this playlist too. It has a complete map to dress like a true gentleman over 40. Stylish, elegant, and powerful every day. See you in the next video.